Justice
to
now.
justice. Obstruction to justice. Obstruction to justice. Justice now. Well, welcome. Welcome to another broadcast of Obstruction to Justice. Now, on this broadcast, we discuss relevant topics of the day. We highlight legislative, economic, community, and business reports. And I am Ann Moles, and I'm your host for today. Today, we'll be joined by Todd Henderson, CEO of Hindu Productions. Welcome, Todd.
Thank you for having me. We really do appreciate you having us on. This is a cool little deal. Thank you.
Oh, well, we appreciate you allowing for us to talk with you about your very exciting. You have a lot of exciting things going on. Lots of exciting things. You've been doing quite a few things over the years, and I just want to hear about it. And I think that one thing. Well, I'm just going to let you get into the interview here. Let you just share with us what is it. When did you guys get started?
Man, this has been going on for a long time. I've been working in production. That's what my company does. We do production, me and my wife. We've been working in production now probably over 20 some years. We got started 20 years ago at a church called Evangelistic Center. I was a musician. I was a musician there, and then they had a need for production stuff. This is 20 years ago, so live streaming wasn't even popular then.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started implementing things to accommodate television, accommodate radio. And so I just moved from musicianship over to the production end of this thing. And I've been doing it now for 20 years.
It's kind of like that though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get started in something, and a lot of musicians or people who have gotten their start in the church.
Yeah.
That's kind of an interesting thing. But the fact that you guys have been hanging in there for a long time, and you're a husband and wife team.
Yeah. We've been doing it. It will be 17 years here in January.
Wow.
And so super excited. I love that girl with all my heart. She's still my best friend. We still laugh at 2 o'clock in the morning like we did when we were 17 years ago. So it's still a honeymoon for us. So happy. We got 2 kids. They my heart. Now they're incorporated with the company. My son, this is his first job. He just actually started working with me this year. So he's now getting paid, and he gets a check just like everybody else on the team gets one.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Now see, that's kind of how you want to do it. You want to bring your family, bring your kids into what's going on, and I commend you for doing that too.
Yeah, you
Definitely.
don't tell him this. Don't tell my son this, but I'm trying to build this empire for him. Don't tell him that. Don't tell him.
You know, I think that that's what it's all about, is to definitely there's a lot of industries, old industries, that passed down the businesses from generation to generation, right?
That's how we build the country. Yeah.
That's how it was built. And you guys are definitely on the right track to do it. A lot of times young people are having to go out and instead of inheriting or getting into the family business, they're having to go ask other companies and businesses for jobs.
Yeah.
That's kind of a challenge, and I think that's where we all as far as this country is concerned, we are seeing some generational moments where you have actors and maybe singers, and of course definitely politicians. They definitely pass on the heritage of what's going on in a family, right?
Right.
So why not? Why not? I definitely commend you guys for doing that.
Yeah, we want our kids. I want my kid to. Um, I want him to know that he doesn't have to work a day in his life outside of this company if he doesn't want to. I want him to know that. I want him to know that when he goes to college and graduates and comes out of college, that maybe he doesn't have to interview for a job. He already had something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's farmers do it. Uh, like you said, politicians, athletes do it. They raise them up to take over the family business. And somewhat, I'm kind of taking over the family business. My dad didn't necessarily start in this area, but he funded this area. He was the big person to really fund. My mom and dad funded what what I'm in. So I can't definitely, even though they wasn't necessarily directly in this, their pocketbooks really helped me get started.
So they were investors.
Oh, complete
They
investors.
were investors.
They've been investing to since I can remember. So yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely.
And that, is not, that's kind of how it should be because we have, like, how about those Chiefs?
Right,
Hmm?
right.
Now you have what, the Patrick Mahomes. Now he started out. His parents invested in him, took him to the little league, encouraged him. Pop Warner football and all of the. It doesn't just happen. I think people think that it just happens. We just live and just kind of go through the motions of life, and then poof, there it is.
Right.
But I'm hearing, yours is a 17-year story, 20-year story, investing from your dad, your family investing in you and believing in what you were doing, and then you carrying the torch to pour into your family too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
like
know.
I like to call it the House of Obed Edom. A lot of people don't know what that means. That's okay. It's in the Bible. Look it up. But
Okay,
the house
definitely look it up.
I'm definitely in a house where my family has been blessed. And that's we'll talk about it later, but that's what helps me to be blessing to people, and I feel like I've just been blessed. God has tremendously blessed my household, and I don't take it for granted. I try to be appreciative to not only God but to everybody that helps out, because you can't do this by yourself.
Hmm. Hmm. Now, as far as you being a blessing to others, you have something that you're going to share about what your company is going to be doing in a few, about probably a couple of weeks here, and we're going to get into that very exciting uh, announcement there too. I do want to kind of take a look at a couple of your sites here to kind of get a little understanding, and I mean, we might have some questions about what's going on with your different sites here. So, if anyone is interested in getting starting business and whatnot, first thing to do is get yourself a website. Get, get a website going. We're talking about small businesses and opportunities, and what is it that makes a business? I think that a lot of us aren't even aware of how business is actually developed, that they think that they just wake up one day and it's going to be perfectly formed and everything's going to go great with it or whatever. But it takes something to do. So,
Business is if I told you that I've been successful, I would be lying to you. There's been times that I failed, and business is all about picking up where you fail at and learning from it. Especially with small business, that people that go into small business, some of us call it side hustle, but you go into a small business, you have to go in it with the mentality. You have to be willing to learn. We have started. I think this company now is 10 years old now. We're 10 years old. Now that I think about it, yeah, we started this back in 2013. So no, we're about 7 or 8 years old. My wife has the actual detail. But there was a low point, and it's just picked back up. And so we're excited about what has happened with our company. Now, just to kind of give you some background of our company, me and my wife started it. It's actually named after my late brother, Victor Henderson. Victor and my late sister, they were twins, and both of them passed away.
hmm,
But they used to call my brother Hindu all the time. And so, I got a plaque of him on my wall. And that's when we started our company. We just named it Hindu Productions. And kind of moved on from that. So we've been going now strong. now for about 7, 8 years, and with Hindu Productions is it branches off into different areas, which is called MSTC Sunset. Is one of the things you're looking at right now, and this we branch off in like 3 different areas, actually 4. So one of the areas we branch off into is funerals, and you'll see that right now. We also branch off into sports, and we do concerts and live production type of deals. And then we also branch off into church services also. So that's the combination of our company, and the father company or is Hindu Production that governs it all. Uh,
Okay.
and so MSTC Sunset is amazing how God gives you insight when you put Him first. Me and my wife had a meeting, had to be every bit of 15 years ago before we was about to start the company, and we talked about what we wanted our company to be, and we laid out these entities almost 15 years ago, and we put the vision, wrote the plan, and all that type of stuff before we went into business.
Okay, so there's a key right there, guys. Business plan.
Right.
Write the vision, make it plain, get a business plan.
By far, yeah. So we started with that first. I'm laughing because we were staying in my parents' house at the time with 2 babies. Um, I had just got laid off, so this was 2008. I had just got laid off during a crisis. So we were talking about our business at that point, and when we talked about it, we said, "Hey, we want to have different areas of our business that kind of capitalize upon the things that we do." My wife is a graphics artist. She does very well with that. My wife also builds website. That's another area of our company. So she built this website that you're looking at right now. In fact, she built all of them that you're looking at. And what we did was say we want that to be an area that highlighted some of her gifts and talents and abilities. And then one of the things that highlighted my gifts and talents and abilities are uh, uh, the video production in, musicianship in, because I still play, and to highlight the things that I'm passionate about. Anybody that really knows me knows that I'm passionate about the Chiefs. So it's great that you said that, and knows that I'm passionate about Kansas City and Kansas City sports. So I love sports. I'm a very competitive guy. So I'm very passionate when it comes to sports. So those are the things that I like to do. And they always tell you, find a job that you like to do so it doesn't feel like work. And finally, I have found, something that doesn't feel like work. So this is something that me and my company do.
Cool.
And I manage all of that while
Mhm.
still working another full-time job. That's a whole other story for another time.
Well, that's still kind of part of the story though, because I think what I'm hearing and kind of what's happened too is that people get bogged down. They think that they don't have capital to
Right.
start a business, right? So you may not have all of the capital where you can roll off and do the business full time, but when you have an income and you have a place, you can build prototypes,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. So yeah, that's the mistake I made in business. I didn't set aside um, a income to subsidize my company. So I was trying to use my company to fund not only itself but fund all my needs, fund my household. And I'm not saying that you can't do that. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that's the mistake I made. So I dove into it with no income coming in. So
Well, that's not it's a mistake, or it's something that I believe a lot of small businesses have to deal with. How do you get capital? Because you're not really getting the loans. You're not
right,
going
right. Oh, well, we
to,
started with that.
let's just
Right,
call it out. Small businesses don't really get loans.
right, and
They
it's,
get
it's really bad right now too. So, but yeah, definitely, we dove into it, and we were not getting the loans. Like you said, we were getting rejected on everything, and I'm actually glad we didn't get the loans because I'd be in debt with it right
come
now.
on. Mhm.
So we decided. Well, like I said, mom and dad was kind of funding my endeavor, and as a grown person, you get to a point where you said, no, mom and dad shouldn't be funding this. So I had to make do of what I could do. And my abilities led me to another job that now pays me very well. They take care of
Mhm.
my family, and they allow me time to deal with my own business. So
Yeah.
that,
Cool.
but that came with a lot of praying. That came with a lot of being faithful to God. Because He
Okay.
will give you the desires of your heart. And I'm not saying that I'm always going to be with the company that has got me hired right now, but I am grateful to them because they are realists. They know my heart, and I'm very upfront with them. So I'm able to finance my household through my regular job, and then everything else with business is just extra. And
That's
until we get
cool.
to a point where, when we get to a point with my businesses, that I can say, okay, maybe I can walk away from my job, or maybe I can, do something different. I don't know what God has for me, but all I know is that I'm gonna walk in what He has for me. That's what I'm
That sounds wonderful, and it's smart too. I think again, what we're looking at is trying to explain to people how business works. It's not all the time where you can walk away and then the business funds you, and takes care of you. More than likely, you're not going to get the assistance as far as small business loans or bank loans, and who would want to go into debt. I think the smart thing to do is to build the prototype and then build the business to where it will take care of you. Now,
Yeah,
that does mean burning the candle at both ends
it does.
sometimes.
I do burn the candle at both ends, like you
Mhm,
said. And something you said key there too. You know, to walk away and have business take care of me, first the business got to take care of itself.
mhm, mhm,
Once the business is taking care of itself, then you can start considering, really looking at walking away from your secular job, or walking away from, whatever is helping you invest in that and being on its own. But if the business is not taking care of itself, then all you're doing is being a weight to your business. And eventually, not only are you going to fail, but the business will fail too.
mhm, mhm. And I think too, another point that why people get discouraged and uh don't hang in there, because I heard that, you were saying that you guys hung in there. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of us, we hang in there. The fallacy that people say or think, hey, if you're not big balling, high rolling right away, then you're not in business. And that is not true.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's not, and I credit that to my wife.
mhm,
I credit that to my wife because I wanted to close the doors. I was at the point like, oh, this thing is a burden, it's a weight on me. Let's just shut it down. And she was like, absolutely not. We've invested too much time.
mhm.
We've invested too much money. So let's just hold on to it. We might not have income coming in right now, but let's hold on to everything. And then when it's ready, it'll come. And it's coming.
It's coming. See, and so when you're listening to those big sort of business gurus and everyone that's, the millionaires and doing everything, and they have it all right now. Some of them, those of that will tell you the truth, will tell you that it has been slow. It was slow. It was discouraging in the beginning, but they hung in there. And then some will say, "Oh well, if it hasn't made money for you in 6 months, in a
Yeah,
year." uh, that is so wrong, and I want to get that word out to everybody who's starting a business or who is in business. Hang in there. I don't care if how long it's been,
yeah,
because really business is where, not just because of your gifts and talents, but here, if we're going to go where we have belief and faith, he's the one that gives us power to get wealth.
exactly.
He's got to touch it. He's got to grow it. And
Absolutely.
all of these other big companies don't think that they pulled themselves up by their own bootstraps. That is a lie. Okay,
It
so
is.
they worked. Yeah, they poured into it. They might have paid some dues, or maybe they didn't pay any dues.
Somebody somewhere pays some dues.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing I'll say, I don't really listen to the big gurus a lot, but there is some one thing that they do say,
Mhm.
and I do take that, and I'll pass that on to anybody that's considering going on to business. I've heard a lot of people say, you're going to hear the word no a lot.
Yeah.
You're going to hear it no, and when you hear the word no, you got to learn how to deal with it. And that was one of my shortcomings. I didn't know how to deal with it. Now it don't even phase me anymore.
Hey.
You're going to hear the word. Yes, they are correct on that. You're going to hear the word no, because your business is your vision, is your love, and the only one that can invest into your business more, or the only one that can invest into your business is you first.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to sell yourself. So if you don't even sell yourself to your own self, how are you going to sell your business to somebody else? So I
Sure.
learned how to say, you know what? If I don't make this happen, nobody else is going to get on board with me. So I've
Sure.
learned how to get on board with my own self, with our own vision plan. With me and my wife, we've put in some time. We're still putting in time. We'll be up to 4 or 5 in the morning. I think I did a event 2 days ago where I worked my full-time job during the daytime. Then I worked in one of my businesses till 10 o'clock at night. Then I went home and edited a whole video till 4 o'clock in the morning and got up and did it again the next day. And that's burning the candle at both ends, but at the same time, the reward is great,
Yes, it is.
it's worth it. And I'm not talking just financial rewards. I know some business people out there is like, if it ain't about the money, then what are you doing? I get that part, but it's walking in a purpose for me.
Yes.
Walking in your purpose, knowing what God really has for you, walking in what He has really called you for,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that we're going to talk about this a little bit later on, but knowing what your purpose is and how you're affecting people. He won't give you, they say He won't put more on you than you can bear, but He won't give you more than you cannot deal with. He won't give you more than you can handle. So I believe in business, you have to be willing to hear the word no. You got to be willing to say, okay, no, that's fine. We'll move on. Because one thing I learned, I'm sorry to make this all spiritual, but one thing I
No, that's what it's all about. Like I said, business, I don't care what business it is, if secular, uh, church, whatever. What if God doesn't touch it,
yeah,
then you're just you're just going through the motions.
I have learned that it's better to walk through an open door that God created versus you walking through a door that you created.
Mhm. Oh yeah, very true. Your now you have another website
Well,
here
you want to go
that
back to the other one so I can tell you about that one?
okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go
I'll,
back
I'll
to this
explain
one.
to that. I'll explain what that is, and maybe somebody that is watching will know. So this one right here, this is Sunset.
Okay.
Sunset was created I got a call years ago, and I'd like you to stop right there on the website. I got a call years ago to
Right here.
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's perfect. I got a call years ago to do a funeral. Had to be about 5 years ago to broadcast live stream a funeral. Uh, and I said, okay, this is not when live streaming was popular. Live stream is everything right now because of
Mhm.
COVID-19. But we did it. We started live streaming the service. It might have been 6 years ago. On this website alone, we have maybe 5 to 6 uh, live stream services. Now, what I want you to do is scroll back up and go to the previous services. You'll see that if you scroll back up for me. You see where it says home and previous services? We
Mhm.
had 5 prior to COVID-19. We had 5 funeral services on this website. After COVID-19 came and after April, I want you to keep scrolling as far as you can scroll. This is how many funerals that my company has done since April. And this is no exaggeration. This is since
Wow.
April. You can keep going. And my company literally was in position and ready to go. And you can go ahead and hit the next button. That tells you what we've been dealing with. You should be able to scroll some more. Scroll up this time.
Mhm.
That's how many services we have performed for the community here in Kansas City. And we're doing them left and right. And somebody asked me, man, business must be doing good for you. Yes, it's doing good, but this is not something I'm, gloating about. This is something to
Yes.
let you know that because of God and our ability, and because my wife and us, we held on to the company, we were ready for this time. So when this time came, we were already prepared. We built that site 5 years ago. So
Mhm.
all we had to do when the first funeral home came and asked us stream their services. All we had to do was like, yeah, we got it. We're ready, and we went and streamed it. Then they called again. So one turned to two, two to four, four to eight, break
Yes.
it down, shake it together, and
There we go.
yeah,
And that's how it is too. If you're really passionate about what you do, just develop it, work with it, perfect the craft, and continue to, you'll learn how to knock on those doors, or those doors will open for you. Huh?
absolutely.
All right. Now,
Oh,
this,
and you got to be prepared. You got to be ready.
be prepared, get
Be
ready.
ready. Be ready for when he opens that door for you.
That's a big one. That's a big one. So this other website, now you guys are, I mean, like I said, you guys are super busy. Now the MSTC Sports.
Yeah, so this is another one that knocked on my door after COVID-19. So I'm actually sitting in my production trailer right now. And in our production, we do live streaming sports for Gardner High School, which is a high school that is south of Kansas City. And basically, what we do for them is we live stream all of their sports because with COVID-19 in the state of Kansas, they eliminated schools having spectators in the gym,
Mhm.
but they are still letting them do sports.
Okay.
Sports. So I was sitting on my bed one day working with my job, and my phone rang, and it was asked, hey, we need some help, and we were ready. We were ready, as you can see, we were just ready. So we're now doing sports.
Super. So, we'll get some contact information out that we're going to share that a little bit later on at the end here, and how they can get in contact with you when they're if they're needing to get either one of the services. The services for sports live streaming, the service for your loved one, or going live streams, and how to go about doing that.
Absolutely.
That that is really something. The like I said, I commend you guys, because here's what it's all about. Look, you guys do the volleyball, soccer, tennis.
Right, and we have to update it, but currently are doing basketball season and wrestling.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
In fact, the wrestling match just finished right before we came on this interview.
Oh wow, pretty exciting there. And that's a great service that we need in our communities, and of course a local person doing that. So definitely. Now this other site here, we'll go ahead and we'll check out this other site, and you can just share with us what this site is about.
Right. So this site is our father company, as you would say, the thing that governs it all.
Mhm.
That is our Hindu production site. That is, if you want to know what we do, that tells you everything that we do.
Okay.
And that's as I say, that's where the check gets written to. So that is everything that we do. Our company on that site, and we built that site 10 years ago. And so that's it. That's it. That's the company site.
Okay. So if you want to know more about Hindu Productions, there's, of course, the site is out here, hinduproductions.com. And then you can kind of scroll through. Now, you guys are on looks like all of the social media. You do have a YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, we have several YouTube channels. Yeah.
Okay, so the one I found was Hindu Productions. So if you go out there, Hindu, Hendu Productions, then you'll see some videos out
Yeah,
there.
I think a lot of times, and we considered changing the name at one time, but it's not HINDU, it's HE. Yeah,
Hendu.
we have no affiliations with the Hindu faith.
Sure, sure. All right. And of course, the type of services that you guys provide: promotional videos, sports videos, of course, athletic video profiles, training videos. That's near and dear to my heart here. I do quite a few of those myself. Of course, website videos, high def, Where do you see the industry going when it comes to video production and the technology of it? If
It
someone wanted to start, where would they kind of start when it comes to the technology of video production? What would they need to look at?
well, markets number one. What markets are big on it? But I have a few people on my staff that asked that question, and I told them that they can come and work with me. Unfortunately, in my business or in our business, you have to pay your dues
Mhm.
because technology is one thing that um, I can lead you to the water. Sorry to use an analogy, but I can't make you drink.
Mhm.
And you have to put in your time. You have to learn it for yourself, and you have to learn how to work it. And the more you learn how to work it, the more you'll get called for it. So technology, especially in my field, which is the broadcast field, um, I had to learn it by myself. You know,
Mhm.
I did go to school for it also, but I had to put my time in. And once you put your time in, you'll be successful in this area.
Yeah. Now, did you start out with a camera? W- and I know that that sounds like a
Um,
silly question, but people
no, it's
think
not a
that,
silly question,
yeah,
but
thank
it's funny.
you.
Forgive me for looking back
That's okay.
because I have the very camera I started off with in here.
All
It's a
right.
funny question that you asked for that. It's where's that camera at? It's okay. It's inside the building. But yeah, I got a camera that I started off with one camera. Um,
Mhm.
I can't. I don't even know who brought me. It might have been my wife's camera. Um, and so we were at church, and our pastor wanted to videotape it, and then start selling VHSs. You remember that?
Oh boy.
He wanted to sell VHSs.
Mm.
So we started videotaping those with video, and then converting it to a VHS. Uh, and I'm not talking about the conversion that you're using right now, where you take the file, put it on the computer, put
Right.
software. No, 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 no. We had the camera set up, going
It
into
was
a
not
VCR,
linear,
and we
huh?
hit the play button and hit the other play button, and
Mm.
the record button at the same time, and it started recording. That's where I started.
Oh boy, Todd, you're dating yourself
Oh, I know,
now.
I know. Listen, I go back to the age where when we used to want to edit tapes. Y'all don't know nothing about tape.
Oh, I do.
You had the boom box with the two tape
Oh
recorders,
yeah. Oh
and you
yeah.
hit the play and the record button with two fingers. I
Yeah.
hate myself. I'm sorry. I'm
That's
excited about
all
that stuff.
right.
That's how we used to have dub tapes, and
Mhm.
those were professional tapes. That
Mhm.
wasn't like a tape where you are just listening on your leisure. You did that too, but
Mhm.
you got to be professional to time it right, hit the record and play button, and then you sell that. You sell
It's
that.
true.
You sell that. I'm going all the way back there. I don't go all the way back to real, even though I did some of that too.
Yeah,
But I
actually,
do.
I learned on reel-to-reel
Yeah, you
splicing.
dating yourself. Now you dating yourself. Yeah, I came into the industry right after reel to real,
Mhm. Mhm.
and so yeah, I learned with the camera. I picked up a camera, put it on the pastor. The video was so shaky. Didn't know that I needed a camera stand.
Mhm.
It just little stuff like that, and you learn. And
Yeah.
one camera turned to two, two to three, and so on and so on.
Mhm. So it sounds like it was a VHS camera,
It was a DV camera.
a digital video camera. I still have a couple of those. You just can't hook them up much anymore. I can kind of take and use them as my road buddies and shoot a little bit, but now what the industry is looking at is the high definition camera.
Yeah, so yeah, we're in the field that everything on is a video. Our industry is blowing up.
Mhm.
And I call it two sides of it because you have the web streaming industry,
Mhm.
and COVID-19 is actually helping our industry from a
Yeah,
standpoint of
it
now
is.
everybody is streaming. So you have to be on your top notch. You have to be on the top game if you're going to compete. Um, I'm actually impressed with the platform that we're on right now.
Mhm.
And so with the industry that I'm in with cameras and stuff like that, my kids' generation, this is all they know.
Mhm.
And they'll tell you when something looks bad. They'll say, "Hey, Dad, why that looks bad? Why does that
Yeah.
look bad?
Right.
Or horrific? Why do And you're like, son, it's just a personal video. Yeah, but it looks bad. So you got to make things look good for them,
Mhm. Mhm.
so they don't talk about you when you come home. And so, but that's just the industry we're in. It's definitely high definition, um, standard, 1080i, 1080p, 720,
And
uh,
above, and
and
above.
above.
They
That's
got that
it.
4K now.
Yeah, we're heading to four. Everything is heading to 4K and NDI.
Mhm.
Those are the two industries that if you got to know, because if you're going to compete, you better know how to do it.
Yeah. Now, the thing about this industry too, you have a camera, learn how to use it. So
Absolutely.
that's the same as any craft in any business. If you're going to be in business, just know the business, learn the business,
Yeah, learning.
stay up on the time of the business, the times of the business, how the business evolves, and just hang in there. That was
Study,
really a great
study.
tip.
Man, I can't tell you how many hours I study to this day. I
Mhm,
study. I'll tell you a quick story. So we do sports, and one of the things about sports is a time clock.
mhm,
You never know how something so small is so important. So one of the reasons why we got this business where we are was not because of all of our camera work that we got 10 cameras up and got commentators and all this stuff. You know what's important to these parents?
mm.
It's the time clock. The time clock, the little thing that keeps the
Oh,
score and the time. And so you can easily put a camera on the scoreboard that's in the gym or out in the football field, but they complain about that. Like,
mm,
why does it look like that? Where's my little, score bug on the bottom?
mhm,
And I heard the voices of our people, and I had to invest in that.
mhm,
It's the
mhm.
little things that matter when, especially in this industry, you have to study. But the funny story about that is, I have been wanting to invest in this little box. I mean, this little box is this small. I should go get it real quick. It's right there. It cost me $800 to invest in this box.
It's not cheap, is it?
$800, but it took it took our professionalism, or
Right.
it took our business from here to there with just a matter of one little box.
Mhm,
It's been worth every little penny since we invested into it.
mhm.
Worth it, worth it.
So if you're talking about being in business, you don't want the vices of spending money frivolously.
Oh yeah,
You want focus
right.
on what to spend your money on,
And
right?
you have to study. You have to study.
And
You
study.
got to study your customers,
Mhm,
your clients. You got to study them and know what is important to them, and then you got to know what's going on in your industry and know where it's going and where you're trying to go. Like for instance, you might want to go where the big networks are, but you don't have the big networks money, obviously, right?
mhm.
But you invest in things that gets you to that step. Just like
Yes.
them, they started somewhere. So everything that I purchase now for my business is to take me to the next level, slowly but surely. So, and I also, where my studying comes in is I don't just buy something that's going to last me for the right now. I buy something that's going to last me for 5 to 10 years.
That's right.
So I know, okay, this is what everybody's doing. This is how they are going to be doing it in the next few years. Let me make sure that my equipment is capable and compatible with
Mhm,
where the industry is going. Yes, so like you said, investing into 4K cameras. Absolutely. You might not even use the 4K settings right now
mhm,
because live streaming doesn't allow you to even go that high. But
mhm.
investing into it because you know it's coming.
It's coming.
It's
Yeah.
coming. So why not invest into it?
Yeah. I had a camera that one of my cameras I must have bought it around in 2020, 2009, 2010, and that was before the HDMI connectors.
Oh man.
I mean, or just when it wasn't popular to do, people were still doing the DV stuff.
Listen,
So I went on ahead and paid the premium price for it, and
this
then when I went back, go
this
ahead.
this is a RCA cable.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Mhm.
I used to 5 years ago, we used to run these cables miles.
Mm.
before we invested into HDMI
Mhm.
and invested into SDI. And
Mhm.
I'm laughing about it because this little cable versus a basic HDMI cable is the real difference in production.
Mhm.
You if you're still running RCA cables to your cameras and stuff, then it can minimize your quality.
Yeah, it's a quality.
Yeah.
It is a quality key. Let's jump right into before we run out of time here. I want to make sure that we get a chance to talk about. Now, we've already looked at your the website there, but I want to talk about the I want to talk about what's going on, what's happening with you. So let me grab this real quick here, and we're going to take a look at a slide that some information that has your contact information, and we're going to talk about what it is that we're looking to do moving forward here. Let's see if we can get it going. Should be all right.
I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
This is you are the first person to know about this.
Well, give us a quick introduction while this is kind of picking up for us, because I might have to come back to this.
Um, okay, so here's the announcement. All right, and I'm gonna take my time getting to it. Over the Thanksgiving weekend, and I'm gonna try to attempt to say this word online, so hopefully your viewers don't talk about me. But there was a fight that happened on television, um, which was between Mike Tyson and um, not Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. These are some older guys. Mike Tyson, is super old, 54. I'm not super old. I'm talking about in terms of boxing real. And after the match, even though it was a draw, the commentator that was interviewing him asked him a simple question. He asked him, "Would you consider coming back and boxing in the ring?" And Mike Tyson said something that just messed around with me for days and has inspired me. He said, "I'm doing something bigger than fighting right now. I'm raising money for charities. I'm gonna try this word, a philanthropist. I can't say it. Oh, I messed up.
Philanthropist.
I can't say that word, but he said that. All right.
Hmm.
I was hoping not to mess up on air, but I'm not going to attempt it again because it's
That's
horrific.
okay.
All right, but he said I'm trying to become that, and that's bigger than me fighting for my own self and raising money.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought, Todd. We're going to take a quick break here. I think we're going to have to break and see what's going on. I think I got a little something going on here. Well, let's see if we're still out and about. Because if we are, we're probably going to have to just finish it up on this end
Okay.
and then come back to it. So give me a sec here, and we're going to take a look at what's going on here. Okay, so we're still on. We're still on. So let's go ahead and finish it up. And I'm not going to be able to get to my slide here. I think we're going
Okay.
to have to
That's
just
not the
share.
official slide anyway. That's great. That's even better. That's even better. You know what? I can share my screen. Hold on. Let me see. Will that mess you up if I share?
No, no, go ahead and share.
Let me see here. Let me see here if I can do this quickly. Quickly, Todd. Quickly, Todd. Yes, I can do that. Okay. Let's share my screen. Screen sharing is easy as what you want to share screen. That's right. I'm going to share this guy and then I'm going to put, sorry about that, guys. And I'm going to put this up. There's the screen.
All
Can
right.
you see
I
that?
think what it did, it
It didn't
didn't
share.
get us going there.
It did not? Well,
So let's
I'll share.
see.
Okay, no problem. No issues. I'll stop sharing. Stop.
All right. While we're coming back to the broadcast, we'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Okay.
All right. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. So I'm not going to worry about what happened as far as that glitch. We're still on.
Great. I
We're
don't want to mess up this announcement. We got
Yeah, yeah, and see, it's always kind of like that, huh? When you have that special announcement,
right.
there's a guy that we call Slewfoot that tends to show up.
Yep. Yep. Okay, cool. I appreciate that. Um, that PO box number is not good anymore.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, that PO box. I should have told you that. My bad. So you cannot reach us at that PO box. Definitely. I'm sorry about that. I should have told you that. However, the numbers are still good, and the info is good also.
okay. So
So go
we
ahead.
can get the 913-645-5825
Right,
for your uh for your services, for the services, or there's another number, 816-797-7956.
right. If you live on the Kansas side, call the 913 number. If you live on the Missouri side, call the 816 number.
Okay. Now, this email address, we have the info at
Yeah,
hinduproductions.com. That's HENDUPRODUCTIONS.com. Okay. So, and they're out there on YouTube, Hindu Productions. Now, here we go. Drum roll, please.
there it is. Oh, you got it up. Thank you. All right.
Here we go.
So here's the big announcement. My company, like I was telling you about Mike Tyson, he wanted to become a giver, and I have decided during this season, since I've been blessed, God has blessed me, my family, my parents. I told you that we're the house of Obed Edom. We have been nothing but blessed. Lord,
Wonderful.
I prayed to God and asked, what can I do on this holiday season besides ask for Christmas gifts? And something I don't ever do anyway, but what can I do? And the Lord spoke to me and said, you can give. And so what we are doing is, as a company, we are doing a major concert to help raise funds for for two families that we have adopted as a production company. These two families that we are adopting, and plus we're giving the children mercy also. But these two families that we have adopted are families that lost parents to COVID-19,
Hmm.
young kids that are in the system now because their parents died of COVID-19.
Oh my goodness.
So we are adopting these families. Um, we don't want anything in return. We just want them to know that their community is looking out for them. And that there is an angel out there, and God has given me the ability to give. So I called on some of my friends that I know throughout the years to come and help me with this concert. And so uh, there's some very heavy hitters that are going to be on this concert. Um, I don't know if I need to go through the list right now. I guess I can go through the list um, of names that are going to be on this concert. Um, but the flyer will be out on this Saturday. You will be able to watch this concert, and I'm very grateful. I'm gonna tell you, this is a God sent. I am very grateful to Channel 62 here in Kansas City. I've
That's KSMO TV,
KSMO
TV
TV,
62.
Channel 62. So that means you don't even have to have cable. You can find it on just regular air television. You can find it streaming. We'll be streaming on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. You can find it on that television is on all local cable companies. So everybody in Kansas City can see this concert. And the Lord blessed us to be able to do our concert on prime time at 8 p.m. On Christmas Eve. I'm so grateful to the television company that is willing to work with us in prime television. They turned their station over to us without even asking us for money. They got behind the calls, and they are excited to partner with us through this charity event. And as we do this charity event, Um, we are going to be turning over. Me and my friends are going to be, and my company are going to be turning over 100% of the proceeds to these families that we have adopted. 100%. We're not going to keep a dime of it, and I'm very transparent when it comes to money because, like a lot of us, we don't play with my money.
That's right.
Don't play with it, and I will not play with your money. Every
Right.
cent that comes in the door, Hindu Productions will be Hindu Productions will be responsible for making sure that we do what we say we're going to do. We're not looking at to pay a few bills before we give to the
Good.
families. No, the bills are already paid. We're not looking
Yes.
at trying to, keep a little bit in our pocket. No, every dime that comes in, every penny that comes in will go to the proceeds of these families. And we're not looking for anything from the families other than for them to be blessed. I want them to be blessed. And that is what we're excited about. That is what I'm happy about. I've never been so happy in my life. I get excited thinking about what we're going to do with these families. And even, I don't even want to speak that. I'm giving myself. So it doesn't even matter what comes in the door. I know a few of us are going to get behind it. I know my community. I love Kansas City, and I know my community. And I
Hmm.
know my community will give to a cause that is worthy, especially when you're true. And I'm hoping that my community can see my heart and know that this is what I want to do during this season to bless somebody that is in need, to bless families that really are hurting because of this pandemic. And because God has blessed me during the pandemic, I want to be a blessing to somebody else. So there will be ways that you can give, and if you can just follow Miss Mose, you'll see some of our flyers pop up on her page on Friday. Forgive me, on Saturday. You'll start seeing our official flyer for this, and you'll be able to give, or I should say, donate via Cash App. You can donate PayPal. You'll be able to donate by mailing a check in if you want to, or pledging, however you want to do it. You'll be able to do that, and we'll be able to give these families that have been selected to a blessing over this holiday season, just to bring some joy. If I get one smile, I'm satisfied. Even if I don't get a smile, if I get a thank you, I'm satisfied because
You
that's how.
know, that is a huge thing. 'Tis the season for giving. And of course, that we celebrate this season where the greatest gift of all was born, right? And shout out to Michael W. He is saying Todd, awesome Todd Henderson.
Oh, Pastor Porley, that's Pastor Porley. That's
Okay.
Pastor Porley. And let me say this. This is also inspired by him and his family, who also did this very same thing over Thanksgiving. They
Okay.
adopted some families, and they called upon our production company to film their concert, to broadcast their concert. And while they were broadcasting their concert, I was inspired by it. This all happened over Thanksgiving weekend, so I was inspired by that. And I got on a horn, and I started calling all my friends and telling them what God has given me, just like He gave to the Portley family. And giving is contagious. If you didn't know.
It is.
So when I saw the Portley family doing it, my heart went out. To hear Mike Tyson doing it, my heart went out, and I'm like, man, I can do this in this season. And so that's what I'm doing. That's what our company is doing, and I commend my wife for being completely on board with this. Um, Let me give you some of the names. Can I do that?
Sure.
Some of the people that are going to be joining us on this concert on December the 24th. Here you go. You're going to have um, first person. You're going to have Cordon Anthony Bolin, Dana Mae Abram, Miss Dawn Jordan. She's from Chicago. Well, she's from Kansas City, but she'll be home. She lives in Chicago right now. Miss Delenia Janelle, Mr. Don J. Halliburton, who does a lot of plays around town.
Okay.
But a lot of people don't know one of his gifts is really he can sing. Mr. Isaac Cates, who is well known around Kansas City, will be joining us on that concert. Cammy Woodard, well known also. Lachey Wright, Mr. Michael Andrews, Mr. the Doctor, we call him Professor Odell Talley, Preston Portley, and Ryan Smith. All of those are my friends, plus the band, and the background singers have jumped on board to help us out and to get behind this cause. And they're some of them are volunteering their time. Some of them are giving just as much as I'm giving. Another one of our sponsors is DJ Joe, who is a DJ around town, and then another sponsor that's jumping on board is called Live Media, who's providing all of our camera work that night. So I pulled out all my friends, I pulled out everybody I know, and we're gonna have a good time. You're gonna hear some good Christmas music, and then we're gonna raise some money for somebody that is in need.
That is so wonderful. That list is local, and it
All
sounds great. I tell you, the list of people, they are heavy hitters. If you're a giver, you're a heavy hitter, but it sounds really, really like that's going to be some good uh, music going on. Now
yeah,
that's the Christmas Eve charity concert.
and it's all hosted by my friend. We call him Bishop Ecliphius Abercrombie Smith. No, he's Bishop or Doctor. Oh Lord, I just lost it. Jarius Jones, Doctor Jarius Jones,
Okay.
on that night. Doctor Jarius Jones, so he'll be with us that night, hosting the whole service. So we're excited. We're so
Yes.
excited.
Now, this is the Give Love This Christmas
Give love this Christmas,
concert,
right?
okay? And
Christmas
it's
Eve.
going to be December the 24th at 8 p.m. on KSMO TV 62.
Right.
And that's local here in Kansas City.
And if
Uh,
you're not local, you can find us on Facebook,
are you going to be streaming it on Facebook?
and YouTube at the same time.
Okay.
And I'm gonna
So
tag Miss Mose on it, so you can come back to this page and know where to go.
we'll definitely get something going for it too. That is an exciting thing, and I think that giving is really what it's all about, and definitely for worthy causes. That's Children's Mercy. That's Children's Mercy Hospital, and two two families that have been affected
We're not
by.
limited to two right now. It's just two, but
Mhm.
my person that is working on that, there's a possibility that we're able to get more families, and the more you donate, the more we will bless
Or
more.
you'll be able to help others. So, definitely save some of that. I know we give. This is a season for giving to our families, friends, and loved ones. Well, how about sharing and saving some of your gifts, your monetary gifts for a couple of other families that you just don't even know. But it'll be a blessing, and they've been through a lot. You can give on the Cash App, PayPal, and there's going to be flyer and more information out there for you. All right, Sister Latoya,
Yeah,
we ready? She said we ready. So
she
definitely
will be
sounds like
on there. She is
that
going
is.
to be singing. Her husband's going to be singing, so we're
Oh,
excited about it.
Kansas City is a great community that comes together, and I really do love hearing how the community comes together even the more, even through this time, the different special communities. And when I say special communities, we're talking about the different communities of different ethnicities as well. We're all special. And here in this time, this special community that I take my hat off to, I belong to the African American community, and I belong to the church community. That's another community that this is a part of,
Absolutely.
the family, but the greater Kansas City community. We've risen to the occasion and many times, but it's not going to stop. It hasn't stopped. And with this concert coming on board, it's even greater still, and it's going to help take us out of 2020, giving that slew foot a black eye, huh?
I definitely want to shout out a few people, but definitely shout out to my pastor, who has been an inspiration in my life about giving. He told me a long time ago. He said, "Listen, you can't beat God giving." And there's a song out that says, "You can't beat him, no matter how hard you try.
No matter how
And
hard.
I decided to put that to the test, and I'm learning quickly. You can't be God given.
You can't beat them.
The more you give, the more He gives to you.
Yeah. Set aside, set aside, it doesn't have to be a whole lot. A stocking stuffer,
Yeah,
uh, stocking stuffer donation. Think of it that way. What we fill the stockings, $5, $10. Every little bit does help.
every little bit. I mean, man, God sees the desires of your heart. And I will tell you now that I have a desire about giving. It's like He's giving to me to give. Listen, I'm not trying to be boastful or anything, and I'm very careful about this because jealousy is a real thing. And me and my wife have experienced that over the year when God has blessed us. So I'm very careful about how I talk about the blessings of God in my life. But I will share my testimony. I'm not careful about that. I'll share my testimony anytime. And I've
Mhm.
learned that, the more when you have a desire to give, God will bless you. My bills are being taken care of. My
That's
bills are fine.
wonderful.
God has blessed me to make sure that I'm covered. I don't have to call mom and dad no more to ask for a few bucks. So that's taken care of, and God has provided all the way. Now we're working in the overflow.
Mhm.
That's where I'm at in life. Let's work in the overflow.
Let's do it.
What does your overflow look like? I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know it's time to go, but
Yeah, we're about out of here. It's about time to go, but this is good. This is sounding good, and it's touching my heart, and I'm sure it's touching other hearts too. Work in the overflow. A lot of us, I know we cook up way too much food during the holidays. Not all of it gets eaten. Maybe saving some of that you would buy food with, save it for a stocking stuffer
yes,
and give to this wonderful Christmas Eve charity concert. Give love this Christmas. During that time, just tune in, and of course it'll probably be also listed too to where you can give afterwards if you forget or you get too
yep,
busy.
absolutely.
Okay.
And we want you to, get your hot cocoa that night. Put on a nice sweater, sit back, and enjoy the concert.
I'm excited. I
Leave
can't
that thing
wait to
out.
hear it. I can't wait to experience it. Todd, thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us about what you do as CEO of Hindu Productions. You've come a long way. You've shared with us about your business endeavors, your business growing in business, and how even now you're not stopping. Don't stop, don't quit.
We
You're
won't.
continuing on and sharing with us about this concert that's coming up.
Where did
And
you get that from? Don't stop, don't quit.
well, that right there, that is a uh, there is a guy that's also a small business guy. He is an a what they do exercise coach,
Mm-hmm.
trainer,
Right.
and he does hip hop. It's not Christian hip hop, but it is uh, hip hop exercises,
I
and
get you.
it's
Yeah.
step exercises. Hmm?
It's funny you say that because I'm looking at changing a logo or two on one of my companies to can't stop, won't stop.
Hey, well, go there with it because whatever's on your heart to do, check it out, whatever. Make sure no one else has it. And of course, tweak it if you have to,
Right.
whatever, to make sure it's legal because that's good business too. But
Right.
that's where I got that from, come to think about it. I'm just going to give a shout out to him because he's another small business guy and he helps his community. He's in the greater Columbus, Ohio community. Shout out to Columbus. I know they're going through some things right now with some things that's gone on happening out there.
Okay.
But we have you in our prayers there, Columbus, and justice will prevail. It will. God is He's that kind of guy. He's going to make things right for the
In the
community.
studio all day. I had to get updated on what's going on.
Yeah, no problem. But thanks again, Todd, for joining us and sharing that with us, what's going on with you and your company. And give a hello to your wife for me too. I can't wait to meet her.
That's my sweetheart. That's my love. That's my motivation. She's my heart. She's my joy. and she's the one that takes care of this boy and hears everything. I love everything about that girl. God has placed her in my life, and we have a saying that we are in this for eternity.
That sounds good.
I
When
just
others aren't, your family, you're that example. We're going to keep lifting you up, and we're definitely going to tune in, and we're going to get our stocking stuffer donation together and participate and enjoy that time as well. Well, we just want to thank you again for joining us here on Obstruction to Justice. And I'm Ann Moles. And just take care, and we will see you next time.
God bless you. Thank you so much for having me.
Justice now.